live stream. Today we have a special guest. We have Duane from How to Build Credit TV. What's going on, Duane? How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, man. So he's going to be on here. He's going to help us out a little bit with how to build our credit and how to, improve our credit, I guess you could say. I know there's a lot of people out there that are interested in getting travel reward credit cards, and their credit might not be where it could be for them to get the cards. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. We'll ask him some questions, and I want to get some, Q&A going. So if you guys have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat, and then we will go ahead and direct those questions his way. As well as if you guys are in here, just let us know you're in here just by saying what's up. And let's see here. Open up my little screen here to see if everything is working properly. All right. So as you come in, just let me know you're here just by saying what's up. You can also give me a thumbs up, emoticon, or something in the chat, just so I can give you guys a shout out. So let's go ahead and get started. So Duane, the first question I have for you is, how did you get started with credit cards, or with rebuilding your credit, I should say? What was going on in your life?
Great question. Well, kind of what happened was I had ruined my credit a couple of times in my life. And so I think I know back in college I ruined it. And I did some debt consolidation way back when. And so it was 2014. And I was kind of in a bind in my life. And so I 2009, I kind of ruined my credit again from when I had fixed it in college. And so 2014, I started a relationship with Capital One. And I think I did that because the marketing with Capital One is really, really good. And so they really entice you. And so I was like, well, my credit's pretty crap right now, but I want to go ahead and start rebuilding. And so that's what I decided to do. And I went ahead and got the Capital One Platinum card, which has no rewards of any kind. But at that time, I wasn't even interested in rewards. And I don't know that anybody was really on YouTube talking about rewards like that in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what got me, thinking I know credit is important and I know the power of credit. And so I was like, I'm going to try to rebuild this thing on my own without doing debt consolidation or anything crazy like that.
Okay. And then you get to a point. How long did it take you to get your credit, to rebuild your credit?
This is the part that a lot of people don't like is from about 2014 2017, because that's when I started to pay attention. I had the Capital One Platinum, and then I think maybe almost a year later, I got the Capital One Quicksilver card. And then this was all in 2014. And then in I want to say something happened in 2016, but I don't remember. April 2017, I got the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. And then July 2017, I got a Macy's card. Okay, so this is just what I've experienced since 2014. I didn't really do anything else. 2015, I got a car loan, which the only reason why I got that loan was because I had previous business with American Honda Finance. So when I went to get a Honda Accord, even though back in the day I had a Acura, I went to get the Honda Accord and they were like, your credit is bad. And I was like, I know, I didn't even know what it was. I just walked in the dealership 2015 and I didn't even check it because I knew it was bad. And so they were like, well, you do have a good history here with American Honda Finance. So we're gonna work with you, right? Which meant they were gonna give me a really high interest rate. And it wasn't too bad. It was 7%. So
we're gonna work with you.
Right. Exactly. So, I from 2014, I applied for those two cards. 2015, I got a car loan in December 2015. And then 2017, I applied for a couple more cards. So it really kind of took 3 years, to be honest. And then late 2017 is kind of when I was really aggressive with getting secured cards to establish a relationship with a specific bank and to build my credit. So all in all, I would say it took 4 years from 2014 to 2018, where I did whatever I wanted and kind of got whatever I wanted as far as credit cards were concerned.
Okay, cool. And then you got to the point where you started a YouTube channel. So take
Yes,
us
sir.
through how that transpired. When did you start your channel, and uh, what was why did you start a channel?
Well, the channel started on, I think I created the channel on March 11th, 2018, and I uploaded my first video like the 25th of March, which is kind of funny because I was doing all this research about growing a channel and what it took to be successful on YouTube, and so
Mm-hmm.
it was really tricky. But I started uploading on the 25th of 2018, March 25th, 2018, and I was going hard. Like it was like I knew the importance of having a lot of hooks out there, which were my
Mm-hmm.
videos. And so initially, I decided to start the channel because I was like, I had gotten some success with the Capital One Quicksilver card. I got some cash back. I was up to like $100, and I was like, "Yo, this is dope. This is awesome." Got the Discover Secured card 17. It was March 2018, and I was like, man, I'm racking up some cash back. I want to document this journey and kind of show people, what's possible. And of course, Ask Sebi was on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Credit Chief was on YouTube, and I was like, I think I'm a pretty smart guy, you know what I mean? And I just kind of wanted to show my journey. And then it was like, well, I need to like show people from where I've come in regards to my credit score and what I did to get there. So that's kind of why I started the channel, was to document the cash back I was getting with the Discover Secure card and then show people how they can rebuild their credit if they're patient on their own without spending thousands of dollars.
Okay. All right. Let me get some shout outs real quick. We'll
Yes, sir.
take a little time to do some shout outs. And we have a super chat. Brian Bourne, thank you for the super chat. B dot, what's going on, brother? Let's see. You had a question. Let's see. I jumped in about eager to learn from you guys. Okay. Cool, Brian, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, so I'm going to give some shout outs. So if you guys are here right now in the chat, just let us know you're here just by saying what's up, or just give us a thumbs up, emoticon, or happy face, something, just so we know you're here.
Right.
And also hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. We got about 10 likes right now, and we got 22 people in here right now. So please hit the like button. It'll bring more people in. So let's go ahead and go down the list. Cornell, what's going on? Mr. Alexander, how you doing?
Matter of fact, let
Quiet
me hit the.
Storm, what's up? What's up? What's up?
No, I was saying, let me hit the like button. I just like the
Oh,
video, the live stream.
thanks for hitting the like button, brother. David, what's going on? Flashpoint Capital, what's up, buddy? Let's see. Let's keep on going. Ronald, what's going on? D. Anderson, what's up? Gervais, I don't know how to say that. Gervais, what's going on, buddy? Dolly, how you doing? James, what's going on? Brian, what's up? Doll, how you doing? And Quesada, what's going on? World Walker, what's up? And let's see here. Broke. We'll just call you Broke. Broke, what's going on? Bodyguard, what's up? Sean, how you doing? Corey, what's going on? All right. Thanks everyone for stopping by. We really appreciate it. And we're going to continue our conversation. So as far as I know, you haven't really jumped in the travel reward cards yet, or have you? Is that something?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Have you jumped in, or you still look? I know we talked about it a little bit before, where you said that you were interested in moving that way, but you hadn't gotten any cards yet, or where are you at? Where are you with that?
Basically, okay, you good? Okay. Basically, the first travel credit card that I got, and I guess it's probably the only one still, is the Amex Gold card. And
Okay.
I got that in August 2018. When they had that wave of New American Express Gold card. It's metal, and dude, I had the hardest time justifying that 250 because, like, watching channels like yours, and Sebi and Shifu, sometimes I'm like, I mean, it's cool. Like, you guys talk about it as if this is ideal for the average person. And so I was just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I'm a little different than the average person, so maybe I should get my feet wet. And So I just went ahead and did it. That was the very first travel credit card that I got. And there's a lot of points on there that needs to be redeemed. So maybe I can do some research and you guys can help me decide
Oh, okay.
where to
So you
spend
haven't
those
redeemed
points.
anything yet, huh?
Dude, I don't even listen. I'm so scared to tell people what I've redeemed. I did purchase a ticket when I went from Houston to New York. I was going to say Canada, Houston to New York back in March, late March, beginning of April, and it was like almost 30,000 points on my Amex Gold card. And so, like, I know people are like, "Dude, that's crazy," but I went ahead and did it just kind of see what that was like. But I have like 140,000 points right now, and I need to
Mhm.
make a good domestic.
All right, you went you went out, so I didn't hear that part. I know it was good because I see you
No,
laughing.
yeah,
But what'd you say?
yeah. What I was saying was I got the 140,000 points in regards to American Express membership reward points, and I was like, I need to have a good redemption of those points instead of flying domestic. That's not a good use of my points, so I definitely need
Oh
some
yeah,
help.
yeah, yeah. You wanna try to maximize. I basically whenever I'm flying domestic, I really pay attention to how can I say this? I look at the price, and if it's affordable for me, I'm just going to pay for it, and I
Right,
save those points for when I'm traveling out of the country, because that's
right,
when you get like true first class when you're flying overseas and stuff like that. That's what you want to use those points for.
right.
So, all right. So, what, if you don't mind us ask or me asking,
Yes, sir.
what's in your wallet right now? What credit cards do you have, or do you use on a regular basis?
That's funny because my wallet, since I had the experience with Chase recently, I've been walking around with all my cards. There's like 13 cards here, and then of course I have like a couple more cards in here. But the cards that I use a lot consistently now is really just two cards mostly. I use the American Express Gold card. I use that one or whatever is 4% or not 4%, but four times points. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know dining for sure. And whenever I get lucky, like if my dad's going out of the country or my sister or somebody or anybody wants to buy a plane ticket, I'll even have my friends be like, "Hey, buy me a ticket. I'm going to Florida." And I'm like, "Sweet. Thank you for thinking about me," because I get three times points for the
Mm-hmm.
airline purchases. And so I do have a gold card that I use mostly for dining and groceries for the four times membership reward points. And then I have the second card that I rock all the time is my Discover secured card. I was going to say Discover. It's just a Discover card. It's not a secured card actually, but
Uh-huh.
I use that because I have, they match the points that not the points, the cashback you earn during your first year. So I actually have two Discover cards, and this is my second go around. So I'm trying to maximize that if it's not food and groceries or airline tickets with my Amex Gold card. So those are the two cards that I'm using a lot currently. I sprinkle in the other ones just to keep them active, to be honest with you. How about yourself?
Oh, okay. Oh, good. The main cards I use. I'm going to start with the main cards I use. I don't have that many cards. I have, I think, a total of seven. I have a total of seven cards. So I don't have a lot when it comes to the travel credit card game. So a lot of people have twice that much.
Hmm.
But I like to be conservative. I don't like to use a lot of points. Or not, I'm sorry. I like to use the points, but I don't like to have a lot of credit cards. But my main driver is a Chase Sapphire Reserve. And then if I'm hitting like minimum spends on cards and all, like right now I have the Chase Ink Cash card. I'm using that card for pretty much everything just to hit the minimum spend.
Hmm.
But Chase Sapphire Reserve and the World of Hyatt card, those are the two cards that I probably use the most. And then I have like an airline branded card. So I have the United Explorer card. So anytime I'm traveling, I'm going to use that card because I get the free check bag plus the priority boarding.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I'm working right now. I have a Chase ecosystem, so I use the cards for Chase, um, or the Ultimate Rewards program, I should say. So I use those cards and try to transfer that way. But yeah, that's pretty much the way I roll. I don't try to get too many credit cards and get all mixed up. I don't know how some people do it. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
people in the chat right now that have a lot of credit cards, and it gets to the point where they have to use spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff, and I just can't. I
Yeah.
can't see that. Can't see that at all. All right, so if you don't mind, Duane, just telling us like what state you're from. Someone was asking where you're located. Flashpoint wanted to know.
Yes, I'm actually in Houston, Texas. That's where
Oh, you're in
I
Houston. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. I think Flashpoint's in Houston as well.
What? Is he?
I think you guys, I think you guys are neighbors.
Oh no, don't tell me that, bro. I freaking like his
Yeah, you guys are neighbors, man. I feel a collab coming on. Let's see here. Is this guy coming from where? Just watching your long live chat about Colombia the other night. Enjoyed it. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Okay, we got another question here. David TC. My credit score is 820 and 815. What's the best cashback card in your opinion? Thank you. Do you have cashback cards, or do you do cashback, or
Yes, sir.
do you have any advice for him when it comes to that?
Yeah, actually, I went ahead and nerded it out. I was looking at the chat, but the best advice, as far as I'm concerned, with cash back is going to be number one. The Discover It card is the best cashback card to get as a first year card because they match all the cashback that you get, and it's a 5% cashback category card. I'm in love with that card first and foremost because of the cashback match. So I would recommend anybody that's looking to put a lot of spend on one card. Like, see, like right now, I think I have 13 cards. I had 15, but like my suggestion is when you're interested in cashback or points or whatever it is, if you can just maximize using that one card on the Discover card, or just using that one card for everything, and of course you're going to get 5% cash back. That's a good card. And the second card I recommended was the U.S. Bank Cash Plus. 5% allows you to choose categories in which you get 5% cash back. So like for me, I have utilities and cell phone. So like, of course, your cell phone bill is pretty expensive. My utility bills can be out of control as well. So it's easy to rack up 5% on that. And it actually adds up a lot quicker. And so you can choose those two categories. And then you have one category where you can choose to get 2% cash back. So that's a card that doesn't get a lot of shine, but I think it's a good card. And you can see if you're pre-qualified at the Discover website as well as a U.S. Cash Bank website. So I would suggest that before applying.
So you can see if you're pre-qualified. So you just fill out some information. Obviously, they're doing a soft pull. They're not going to do a hard pull, right?
That's correct. Yes,
that
sir.
you know of.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's good then. That's really good for a lot of people who are kind of on the fence and they don't know if they qualify for a credit card. Maybe they can do that, go through those steps just to see if they have a chance.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, Gervais has a question, and I'm thinking he's saying he wants to know how to get a 780 FICO score. So he just wants to know how to get a high FICO score. His FICO score right now is 693. He has 2 credit cards. Utilization is between 1% and 0%. Okay, so utilization is not an issue, but
right.
yeah. Yeah, what else is going on though? He's got to have something else going on too, I guess. When it comes, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to credit, like I've never had a real issue with my credit, so I didn't have to like work it up, like build my credit. It was kind of, when I was in college, I got a couple of credit cards and didn't really use them. I've always been afraid of credit cards until now, just because the way I grew up, your family, your parents tell you, oh, don't get credit cards. And if you get one, you're only going to use it for emergencies and all that. So the only reason, this is funny, but the only reason that I got the 2 credit cards that I got when I was in college was because they were giving free T-shirts. So like free college T-shirts.
Right.
So that's what I did. That's the reason I got it. But it actually worked out because I started my credit at that point. And I wasn't even thinking about it, but that's the only reason I got it. I wanted the T-shirts, and they were giving them out. So I never really had a problem. So I didn't really go through a process of, I need to build my credit. I did have this was before I went to college. I had collections on me, and that was because of I'm dating myself now, but we used to have pagers back in the day.
Right. Right.
And back in the day, it's kind of like cell phones, really, where you didn't own the pager, you leased it or what have you. So you signed off, signed your paperwork and all that, but you pay every month. And so when I stopped paying my monthly bill for the pager, the pager belonged to them, and I didn't return it. And so yeah, they went after collections on me. So I had that. That was when I was young. I mean, I that was like before I was 18, I believe. And
Wow.
so from since then, I had that, and then of course, it falls off after 7 years. But that's the only thing, and I don't even know what my credit was at that time. I never really checked. But other than that, once I got out of college, my credit was always around like around 700. So I never really worked on building it up until I started getting these credit cards, and it just built up on its own. Like I didn't do much, and it's gone up like 70 points. I'm about 770 right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's so I don't really have answers to those questions. Maybe you could help them out a little bit more, I guess, when it comes to some things you can look at.
Right, right. Well, yeah, actually, like you said, you're exactly right. Utilization is clearly not an issue. So there may be something like maybe a possibly older account, a derogatory or account that is in collections. Certainly, having a lot of inquiries would slow that process down. When it comes to credit, there are only a couple of things that you can tweak to really, kind of boost your score. And so utilization is the first thing, clearly. And then, of course, your payment history. So that payment history is huge. My scores right now is anywhere from like 750 or 745 up to like 7%. Okay. So clearly you can have a high score if you have a 97% payment history. 97% is actually not good if you look on, apps like Credit Karma, right? You want to be like 99 or 100%. So it may be a combination of just the fact that you may have something on your collections or your like a derogatory account. And when that account falls off of your credit score, your score might jump a lot. Like me personally, something fell off and my score went up 57 points. And then something else fell off a couple of months later. Yeah, exactly. And something else fell off a couple of months later, and my score did nothing. So it's kind of weird. It's like you don't know exactly how something is affecting it until it falls off or until it reflects on your credit score. So as far as getting up to, what he'd like to get to, it's just going to take some time and patience, and what I will say is 8 to 10 months from now, if you continue to do what it is you're doing right now, as far as being responsible and keeping your utilization low, your credit score is going to get better. So just be patient. Hopefully you don't need a car or a house or anything like that. And you have some time to just be patient and just kind of wait it out. Keep paying attention to what we talk about on here on these channels, on David's channel as well. And so that's pretty much the only advice I have for that.
All right, cool. So are you planning on getting any other like travel reward credit cards? Are you set on getting any credit cards at the moment? Like, do you have your eye on any other cards right now?
You broke up at the very last part. You said, am I set on getting any what?
Yeah, are you interested in getting any other credit cards right now? Travel reward credit cards or just regular credit cards? Do you have your eye on any cards?
Dude, I unfortunately don't have my eye on any card at the moment because I have way too many inquiries. But if I were able to get cards, I recently applied for the Barclays Arrival Plus card because I think the sign up bonus at the time was like 70,000 points. And I was like, that's freaking sweet, And of course, I don't have a relationship with Barclays, and I was just really trying to get familiar with these points and redeeming them. And so I was like, well, I can meet this minimum spend. So I applied for that card, and my score with TransUnion at the time of the application that they sent to me in my denial letter, my score was 781 at the time. And I knew I had a lot of inquiries, right? And that was my FICO score. This is directly from them, right? So I knew I had a lot of inquiries, but and inquiries matter. Like it matters, like you may get away with it. If you have 5 or 6 inquiries, you may get approved, but after a certain point, What they told me was like, you can't get approved because you had too many accounts, too many new accounts open within the past 24 months. And they were like, their thing was basically 624. Chase has 524. We're not going to. I would have gotten that, and I'm definitely interested in getting the American Express Platinum card. That was going to be easy to get because I already have a relationship with American Express. But I'm trying to justify the 550, and I don't travel enough to, hang out in those Centurion lounges and to kind of really enjoy the benefits of the Platinum card. But those two cards is kind of where I'm at. I wanted the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but I no longer have a relationship with Chase. Maybe I'll circle back around a couple of years and kind of see if they allow me to get a card with them.
Yeah. You want to talk about that? I saw the video that you put out about
Sure.
Chase. You want to talk a little bit about that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, and here's the deal. Like, so for the people that have no idea, I had an account with Chase. I actually had my mortgage with Chase, right? So um, that was a lot of money. Okay, so I had a good relationship with Chase, and then back in like 2009, I really had like a life-altering situation occur, and to my knowledge, Chase reminded me of this recently. I had a couple of credit cards. I knew I had one. I think I owed them like 6,700 or something like that. And it turned out that it was more than that. So Chase was like, I was adding people as authorized users on my Chase card to help them with their credit utilization, because that's one of the things you can tweak. So if I add some your 8% and I add card, it's gonna give you more available credit, which will lower your utilization, and of course it's gonna let you have a relationship with Chase. So Chase decided to, after having the Chase Freedom card, it was the Freedom Unlimited, and then I product changed to this Chase Freedom card. After having that card since April 2017, great relationship, never late. Chase was like, we're going to close your account. And I had just gotten approved. A lot of people don't know this. I had just gotten approved for the Chase Unlimited Business Inc. card, which I was super excited about. I was like, sweet, going to get $500. This is an easy minimum spend.
Yeah.
Just
those
got
are
approved.
Good cards, man.
Yes, sir. I saw your video.
Those are good.
Yeah,
I got all three of them.
well, yeah, I mean, and that was, trust me, that was the path in which I was going to take, and I was excited. It's like, sweet, I got my card. I did my enveloping video. I mean, I had several videos about that card. And then literally a couple of days later, Chase, like I logged onto my bank account and they were like, your account's closed. So they basically said that they closed my account for the authorized users. They were saying that they didn't like the way I was using or adding multiple authorized users. And I said, well, you guys have unlimited authorized users. I'm not doing anything against your terms and conditions as far as users are concerned. And then they were like, well, you owe us, this amount of dollars, which ended up being like $15,000 that I really didn't remember. Chase had approved the Chase Freedom Unlimited back in 2017 of April. And so all is well, right? Why would you approve somebody that owed you 15 G's for a credit card? And, so it was just kind of weird. So they canceled my account, which I don't, Chase is doing whatever they think is in their best interest. And I still recommend Chase to people. I still tell my coworkers, hey, get a Chase account, go online and get the bonus, get the little coupon for $200 for having direct deposit. If you have a new account with Chase, I tell people that Chase is a good bank. You know what I mean? So that's what happened in regards to me and Chase. And so I'm going to just chill and kind of circle back, maybe in 2 years and kind of see if they'll allow me to establish a relationship with them. So that's what happened in regards to Chase.
So did they give you any, what's the right word, feedback, or like, did they tell you that? Yeah, you check back with us in a couple of years, or did they say anything, or was it just pretty much cutthroat?
Oh yeah.
We close your account and nothing else.
Yeah, it was bad. It was kind of funny. I think there were a couple of things that happened. Like I had money stacked on online savings account or like an online checking account to get like a sign up bonus or to get a good like APY. And so I had transferred a lot of money into my account recently. Like I had transferred a little over $10,000 into my Chase account, which Normally I get online or something online. And so
Mhm.
I don't know if that like kind of put some attention on my account. I mean, I would assume that it would, but the representative was like, unless you can pay off the $15,000 and prove that you have a relationship with all the authorized users. I think I had like 18 authorized users. They were like, unless you
Mhm.
can prove that you have a relationship with them and pay off the 15 G's within 6 months, we would consider reestablishing a relationship with you. So they didn't tell me anything about 2 years, or they just
Mhm.
basically said, if you can pay off the 15 G's and show that you know every single authorized user on your card, then we would consider opening your account. So it's not looking very bright.
Mm. Wow, wow. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope it works out because I mean, hey, I mean, Chase is they have some good cards.
Yes,
They
sir.
definitely do, especially if you're trying to get in the travel credit card
Yes, sir.
um, that realm. There's a variety of good cards out there. But so, are you still doing the authorized users with other cards, or do you not want to talk about it because they might be watching?
It's kind of
I guess
weird.
I'd.
That's funny that you said that. What's kind of weird is that I don't know what to believe. A lot of people don't really understand YouTube and the grind behind YouTube. Uh,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of hate gotten, which is very weird and interesting that people would take their time and energy to do that. So I don't know if someone like brought to their eyes what it was that I was
Mhm.
doing in regards to the authorized users. I am terrified in regards to the authorized users, but it started out of a place of kindness and trying to help people. As a matter
Mhm.
of fact, one of my subscribers back in January said, "Hey, if you let me jump on your card, as an authorized user, that would help me." And I said, "LOL, you're funny." And so in March, another subscriber mentioned it. And so I was like,
Mhm.
okay. And so that's really where it started. It didn't even start with me. It started with a subscriber because they saw the
Mhm.
video. But there aren't a lot of opportunities to be added as an authorized user. On as far as I'm concerned, there's only a couple of cards that I could do that. So I'm a lot more tentative in that because with Chase, my thing was give me an opportunity to rectify the situation. Don't just close my account, right? So
Mhm.
so they didn't give me any warning, which is fine. I get it. They don't have to. But if I didn't have the 15 G's that I owed them, that all of a sudden mattered, I wonder, like I told them, I said, 15 G's. I don't think I was interested in doing that because I don't have an extra 15 G's laying around. I have student loans, so I'm pretty sure I would put it towards that instead of paying off that collections that doesn't affect my score anymore.
Hmm. Can you explain to people as far as like authorized users? I know people who are trying to rebuild their credit and stuff like that. If they come on, can you explain to people kind of how that authorized users how that works, where they inherit your credit?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a good one. In regards to authorized users, to be honest, like before I started doing that or offering that service, I was helping people in my real life. And I was just like, hey, yeah, let me just add you. And so when you become an authorized user on someone's card, it's very beneficial. Like, for example, my daughter is 15, my son is 16. So with certain
Mhm.
cards, you can add people. Like with American Express, I think it's 13. It may be 14. But you can add them to kind of, number one, establish a relationship with that particular credit card company. Number
Mhm.
two, it kind of help them get started in regards to credit. So when you add someone as an authorized user, a couple of things will happen depending on the bank. So depending on the credit card, if the card allows you to backdate or inherit all that person's payment history. So let's say I had so if I someone to that, like let's say my son, so he would inherit 2 years of payment history by me simply adding him as an authorized user. So In other words, his average age of credit would be 2 years, and he didn't do anything. He's never really had a card.
Mm-hmm.
So that would benefit him because your average age of credit is 15. That's 15% of your score. And then also, if he had an account, or if he had a credit account, credit utilization is 30% of your score, and then your payment history is 35% of your score. So by me adding him, I'm already giving him a certain percentage of the 15% that makes up your average age. I'm giving him all 35% that makes up your payment history, because my payment history was on time and accurate. So he's going to have 100% payment history, and then he's going to have a very low credit utilization, which is 30%. So right off the top, he's already getting 65% of his credit score just from the payment history and the credit card utilization. So, so that's how somebody could benefit becoming an authorized user. If you have somebody that loves you and that's not, they're not scared, like, I don't want to add you to my credit. You're going to mess my credit up, and I'm like, it doesn't work that way, but that's how people think. And that's understandable. So if you have somebody that, that can add you as an authorized user, use and has a low utilization, go for it. It will benefit your credit. And that's basically the whole premise behind being an authorized user.
But you can add them and not give them a card, right?
Yes, sir. Valid point. Yes, sir.
So if it's your relative, your family member, or what have you, you can still add them, but just not give them a card. That way, it'll help their credit, but they won't mess up yours.
Absolutely. Hey, that's a valid point, man.
That's the only thing I would be a little nervous about. That messing my credit up. So
absolutely,
I don't mind helping family, but I don't want to be on that other end of having bad credit. Okay, so do you have any tips for people? Let's say someone's struggling right now. Let's say their credit score is 500, maybe 550, and they're interested. They want to get some credit cards in the future, maybe some travel credit cards. Do you have any, can you kind of walk us through steps that they could take at this point to try to rebuild their credit? Let's say collections is not an issue. They don't owe anything to collections or anything like that, but their credit is just low because of their past. Is there anything you could tell them right now to kind of get them in the right direction? Did I go out, or did you go out?
No, you went out, but you were just saying, Is there anything I can tell them to do what?
So is there anything you can tell them to help their credit? And actually, we should talk a little bit about collections if you want to do that. Do you know of anything any way to go about? Because I've heard, and like I said, the last time I had that collections, that was when I was like 16, 17. And honestly, I didn't do anything about it. I just, and I think I did return the pager, but it had already gone to collection, so it didn't matter. And so I pretty much just waited it out and didn't even really know what collections and all that stuff meant. But so do you have any advice for people like that are in a situation where collections is calling them? What should they do?
Man, that is a fabulous question. In regards to collections, if it gets to the point where it's super annoying, then of course you could choose to, seek help, and help means pay somebody money to to submit letters on your behalf so that they would not, call you. For me personally, I'm way point where I ignore the calls and just try to just kind of really focus on what I could control. Like if something is in collections, chances are there might have been a life emergency or something where you had to use your credit. Okay. Or just a mistake, or you just being careless, which is fine. I've been there, done that. So money would be an issue. So I would recommend just being patient and just like ignoring it to some extent, unless you wanted to spend money to seek the necessary help. I don't really do anything in regards to credit report credit repair. I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, I point people like, hey, I don't know anything about credit repair. Like the credit repair for me means be patient and wait 7 years for something to fall off. But in that time period, I established a relationship with, a secured credit card. So I'm going to just kind of segue into that.
Okay.
In regards to if your score is low, I would say, okay, if it's a collections that you can pay off, you probably shouldn't pay it off, to be honest, because it's not going to benefit your score. You pay it off, it's not going to reflect on your credit report that you paid it off, and then all of a sudden your score is going to go up. That's not accurate, okay? Unless you speak to them directly and they say that, and then we'll delete it from your credit file or your credit report. That's the only way it would benefit you. Otherwise, you could pay it and then it's still going to be on your credit report and your score will still be low. So if that's you and you don't have the money to pay it, which I'm not telling you to pay it, I would just try to get a secured card. The first thing I would do is, if you're banking with a bank that offers secured cards, it's really easy to figure it out. Just go on Google and see if your bank offers a secured card. Okay. I would get a secured card with your bank because you have a relationship with them, and chances of being approved would be greater with your bank than with someone else. So that would be the first thing.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And the secure cards, I mean, basically anywhere from $200. It's a refundable deposit. So it's anywhere from $200 that you would deposit and they'd hold it as collateral. And of course, you would just use the credit card and your limit would be $200 and you would just use it and pay it off. There's no need to like have a balance on there unless you want to make the credit card company money. So that would be my first advice in regards to if you had a low credit score or if you just got out of bankruptcy. Try to get a secured card with your local bank. And then if you can't do that, then just research your butt off in regards to getting a secured card and get one, because you can get a secure card even if you had bankruptcy. And so I used secured card in 20 score was not bad, like I was upper 600s, probably even 700. And I got it because I was trying to reestablish a relationship with Discover Card, because back in college, for the same free t-shirt that you said you got, I applied for a Discover Card. I applied for a City Platinum Select. It was like a Sony card at the time. And so just, I used a secure card to reestablish a relationship, and my score was good. And what I learned was that my score benefited from me having a secured card, even though my score was already like 700. So if you just get a secured card and just wait it out, use that thing for a year and kind of see where your credit is later. I think the problem when it comes to credit is patience. So, patience is tricky. I get it.
Okay. You guys are in here right now. Please hit the like button for us so we can bring more people in. And if you guys have questions specifically for Duane or for me, just go ahead and put it in the chat so we can help you guys out with the questions. And I see we have more people in the building, so we'll give some more shout outs real quick. I forgot where I left off. So I might say, let's see, I might be repeating some people here, but Janelle, what's going on? Jason, how you doing? Let's see. NB Guyver, what's going on? I don't know if I said that right. Some people, when people start putting different things in there, sometimes you're saying names, you're like, okay, it could be just something easy that I should know, but
Right.
when I'm trying to read it real fast, it's like, okay, let me just try to fumble through this. So let's see. Deborah, what's going on? Who else we have in the building? Mr. Choco, what's going on? Alex, how you doing? Amex Platinum or Delta? Let's see, what's the question here? Amex Platinum or Amex Delta Platinum? Well, I'll answer it. I'll answer it how I think it should be. Let's see. As far as this is the way I look at it, and Duane, you talked about this earlier. It depends on how much you travel. So that Amex Platinum is a great card to get, but you have to be traveling a lot in order to get that card. When I say traveling a lot, I'd say at least 3 or 4 times a year to really reap the benefits of that card. As far as the Amex Delta Platinum, I mean, you're still going to need to travel a lot with that card. If I'm looking at both cards, the main thing that I look for is I'm looking for a card that has points that are valuable, one, and points that are flexible. So with the Amex Platinum, you're going to have the flexible points. You're going to have points you can transfer them over to some different hotel chains. You can also transfer them over to some different airlines. So you're not just stuck. If I have the Amex Delta Platinum, I'm stuck with the points on Delta. I can't do anything else with them. But with the Amex Platinum, I can transfer them to different partners. So that's power for me. That's what I'm looking for when it comes to, let's say, like the Chase ecosystem. That's the ecosystem that I work under. I like Chase I like the fact that I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve because those points are flexible. I can transfer them. So you don't want to have all your points just with the airlines because then you're stuck. And let's say you want to stay at a hotel and you want to use points to stay at that hotel. Well, you can't do that anymore because all your points are in one basket. So just something to think about. So if you're asking me, I would go with Amex Platinum. But like I said, you need to travel at least 3 or 4 times a year. And that's bare minimum. You need to travel more than that, really, to really reap the benefits because you have the lounge access, you have the incidental credits and stuff like that with Amex Platinum. And you're not going to be able to get all those credits and stuff if you're not traveling. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know, Duane, if you have anything to add when it comes to those cards.
No, man. I would never. I respect your opinion and your channel.
Duane, come on now.
That's definitely your lane, man. But yeah, I mean, you already said it. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, I said earlier that like I had a hard time justifying the annual fee for the platinum card, and so me getting my feet wet was with the Amex Gold card, and not only like wet and earning points and those points, like and like actually having like a meaningful reason to redeem those points. And like I said earlier, I wasted 30,000 points going to New York. I'll never do that again. Trust me. But I think it's sound advice. Like you said, absolutely. You got to justify by traveling frequently in order to have the gold or platinum. I mean, unless you just want to flex with the card and be a cool guy, and you have $550 to spend on that, then go for it. But other than that, like to kind of get a bang for your buck, I would say traveling, you definitely need to travel. And for me, I could travel 2-3 times a year, but like I'm like, should I really get the platinum if I travel 2-3 times a year? That's not a lot, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, and it's what you want too. Like, what do you want out of this card? If you're not into the whole lounge access, Centurion Lounge, all that stuff, then there's no reason to get the card because the card's biggest strengths that it's the lounge access. I mean, you have Priority Pass Lounge, you have the Delta Sky Club, and then you also have the Centurion Lounge. That's the strength of that card. That's what sets that card apart from a lot of the other cards. Plus, if you're booking booking directly with the airline, you're going to get 5 points for every dollar spent. So that's pretty powerful. But a lot of if you're not traveling, all the other categories, you're pretty much going to be paying. You're pretty much going to be getting 1 point for every dollar spent, which doesn't make it a valuable card at all when it comes to earn possibilities. So I would look at all these other cards and say, well, I can use this card and get more points than if I'm using the Amex Platinum. So most people like that card for the lounge access, and you also get some perks too. So you'll get gold status with Hilton and Marriott. So if you like stuff like that, then that would definitely benefit you as well. All right, Will's in the building. What's going on, Will? We're gonna have Will on the show next week, either next week or the week after. He's got a channel too. He's got a YouTube channel, so you guys can check him out. Will Schroep, and he talks about travel credit cards as well. Very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. So check his stuff out. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions for us? And he's just saying that platinum card is overrated. Yeah, like I said, some people swear by American Express. We got David probably still in the building in the chat somewhere. He swears by American Express. So it's, I always tell people when it comes to these credit cards, these travel credit cards, get the card that works for you. They're not, you might have a card that people might say, oh, I don't like that card. It's not a good card. It's not the best card, but it might work for you. And if it works for you, that's all that you should care about. So, all right. Questions, guys, questions. We need some questions for Duane. Let's see. So where are you planning? What's your plan for your channel? Are you satisfied with what you're doing right now? Are you planning on doing vlogging and all that kind of stuff? Or
Dude, I'm too bored for that. I don't mean bored. I mean boring. I think that stuff is good. I think vlogging is dope. If I were adventurous, I would absolutely travel. There's a vlogger's channel that I like. His name is Hello, my name is Tony. And I actually came across his channel because of a Capital One Venture Card video. And like the first 3 minutes, brother doesn't talk about the Capital One Venture Card. Like it's like him in the water with a GoPro, and and I was like, this guy's interesting. But yeah, I'm just not an exciting or adventure person. I wish I were. Otherwise, that would make the channel way more interesting. But I'm pretty much gonna just keep it safe. I think as I try to evolve, I will probably do a little traveling, but for the most part, I just want to kind of be the voice when it comes to how to build your credit. I felt like there was a little niche or niche, however you say that word, and I was like, a lot of people don't really talk about this, so I felt like that was kind of, I'm going to put it and just kind of see how big we community and, how far we can reach. No matter what, YouTube for me is a long-term game. Even though I need a break sometimes. I don't even know how you do live streams every night, but you're a boss.
I'm not doing it every night. I do it a lot, but not every night.
It's close enough, man. I mean, hats off to you. I know no editing. I get it, but dude, you're a piece.
But you're on the spot, though. That's the only problem. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
you get on the spot, and it's like, you got to just kind of sink or swim. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. That's why I'm here. But yeah, definitely. So do you plan on doing more live streams or putting out more videos on a regular? Or I'm just for the audience, just so they can prepare and know what's coming up from your channel.
It's funny that you said that, because the last video I uploaded on my channel was last Monday, which was a live stream. And I think, like, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of at a point where I need a break, but I'm not brave enough to actually take a break, because I know YouTube is about, being consistent, being relevant. And so I will continue to do live streams Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm gonna stick. And then as far as like regular videos, I will, depending on how I feel, because YouTube for me is going to be long term, I will probably do, one other video, maybe two. So that'll be 3 videos a week. If I'm hustling, that's a live stream and 2 videos a week, which for me and the way my life is set up and my other job is a lot of work. But that's kind of my level of commitment moving forward. And, the more I create, the faster the channel grows, the more people we reach, the more exposure the channel gets, which means that the more people we can affect. So, but once again, it's a long haul. I would love to have 100,000 subs, but it may take me 10 years to do that. And that's fine. I want to make it 10 years from now, as opposed to putting out a lot of content now and then making it only 3 years. So that's kind of what my goal is for my channel.
Got you. Okay, we have a question, and let's see. What travel partner is good to travel to Colombia? Okay, have you been to Colombia, Duane?
No, but hey, man, listen, with this live streaming relationship we have here, I'm interested. So I will be more proactive. That's all you.
Yeah, you missing something in Colombia, I'll tell you. But
Yes,
oh
sir.
no, you
Yes, sir.
all right, all right. Um, so as far as partners, this is what I do. What I go with, I go with United, so the Star Alliance, and they partner with Copa Airlines as well as Avianca. I would prefer to fly on Avianca as opposed to Copa. Copa is actually a Panamanian airline, so every time you fly on Copa, they're going to stop in Panama, which that Panama airport, or whatever you want to call it, is I don't like that airport at all. I mean, even the lounges in there, it's one of those deals where you get out, you get off. Like I always have a layover there. Where anytime I go to Colombia and I'm flying on Copa, so I go to the lounge, and that is the busiest lounge I've ever been to. Like they just let everybody in the lounge. And
Wow.
so you don't have a place to sit. You kind of have to walk around, get a few snacks, and then go out to the regular terminal. The problem with the regular terminal is they don't have there's no air conditioning. So if it's hot, it's hot. So the only AC they have are in the lounges. So that's probably why most people are in there. But anyway, so Avianca, I would recommend fly with Avianca if possible, and they fly usually to Bogota, and then they'll take you from Bogota to wherever you want to go, Medellin, Cartagena, all that. So you have a layover in Bogota usually, but Bogota's airport is very nice. So that's what I would do. Star Alliance, get into that. If you're using points, you can always transfer your points over to United, book your flight on United, and it will allow you to fly on Copa. Anytime you're booking on United, you want to go to Colombia, you're going to be flying on either Copa or Avianca with the Star Alliance. Now, if you go with someone else, then you can fly with different airline carriers. And then also like JetBlue is good. JetBlue is a good flight if you can, but you have to either use your points if you have points with JetBlue, or pay for the tickets. It's usually not that expensive though. It's around 400, maybe 500, depending on where you live. So from Los Angeles, it's about $500. It'll take me to Florida first, Fort Lauderdale. I think it's Fort Lauderdale. And then from there, it's like a 2.5-hour flight to Colombia. So, all right. So we have more questions for Duane. Let's see. All right. We got another YouTuber in the house. So we got how to get an 800 credit score. So he's saying, hey, what's up, Duane? And he's got a YouTube channel as well, so you guys can check him out. I just went over there. Was it yesterday? Was I on yesterday? Yeah, I was on yesterday. I went over there yesterday, subscribed to his channel, so you guys should check him out. He's got some good content on there. And let's see. Let's move on here. Any questions? Nika, what's going on? Tyrone, what's up? Dead Mouse, what's going on? Okay. So we got a question about starter cards. So what's the best starter travel card to get? Well, there are two cards that I really like. And okay, let me just put it this way. If you don't have any travel credit cards at all right now, no cards, go with the venture card. The straight venture card is a really good card to get. 2 points for every dollar spent. If you're just learning how to use the points and all that, or like how to earn points, then the venture card is the easiest one to get because it's 2 points across the board. So you don't have to think about, oh, if I get this card, I get that. If I get this card, I get that. It's just across the board, 2 points for every dollar spent. Now, that card is good for a few different reasons. It has global entry, TSA pre-check, global entry, TSA pre-check credit. So I would recommend that card because of that. You get the 0 annual fee on that card for the first year, and then it's $95 after that. So you can test it out, see if you like it. I always recommend keeping your card if you can. If you can't and you don't want to pay that annual fee, you can downgrade the card. What my advice, though, is to, whenever it comes to downgrading, keep the card until past the date of the annual fee. So they'll charge you the annual fee, and then if you want to downgrade at that time, call them up as soon as they charge that annual fee, and then ask if you can downgrade the card. Just tell them that it wasn't what you thought or what have you. Don't close the account at all. And if you close the account before that annual fee, they could they don't like that. Let's just put it that way. So you don't want to get in a situation where you have a bad relationship with them because you're closing accounts. Because what some people will do, like credit card churners, they'll get a bunch of different credit cards. They'll close those accounts. So they'll get the card, get the sign-up bonus, then close it. And banks, of course, they hate that because you're getting free money and then you're not even doing anything with the card. So I would wait until after the annual fee hits and then call them up. And you can even call them up and say, hey, I don't know if I really want this card. And I saw that I got the annual fee and all that. And they might even waive the annual fee for another year just to keep you with that card. Or you can just at that time just ask for a downgrade. And I think it's like the Quick Silver card or something like that Venture has. Now, the other card, and then other things too, like Global Entry. I didn't finish with that. So you get that Global Entry credit. It's $100 credit. You want to get Global Entry because they'll tell you can get a Global Entry credit or you can get a TSA PreCheck credit. You don't want to go with the TSA PreCheck credit because TSA PreCheck is $85 and it's just TSA PreCheck. And what TSA PreCheck is, if you're flying domestic, you go to a different line. They do pre-screening. So you fill out an application online. This is the government that's running this. Fill out the application online. They will set a date for you, and you have to pay the $85 at that time. And this Global Entry is the same way. So Global Entry is $100. TSA PreCheck's $85. So you fill out the application, you pay whatever amount you're paying, and then they will set up you'll set up an appointment. So they'll let you know, okay, we've gone through the first process. Now you're going to set up your interview. You do that, and you will go to they have these local centers that they will ask you a few questions. You can go to Customs and Border Protection if you want. That usually it's a little faster because those facilities are a lot larger and they can handle a lot more people. Or you can go to some designated areas that are probably closer to where you live. In my case, I live in Southern California. I drove down to San Diego, which is about an hour and a half away. I just made a weekend of it, stayed out there at a high place for a couple of days. But I went out there because it was faster. Like I did it in 3 days. Whereas if you set up some of these little satellite places, you might have to wait a month or so. But anyway, you do that. Once you do that, then they'll give you a known traveler number. That's what you're going to put on when you book your airfare. There's a known traveler number. You put that number in there, and it'll automatically know that your TSA PreCheck, and then it'll have it on your ticket. But my advice, don't go with TSA PreCheck, go with Global Entry because you're going to get Global Entry and you're going to get TSA PreCheck. And Global Entry is for when you enter the country, or when you re-enter the country. So if I go out of the country and I come back in, that's what Global Entry does. It will allow me to go through a separate line, and it's like it streamlines the process. Like you go to a kiosk, you don't go to like a customs agent. And then you just put your information in there, put your passport on there, takes a picture of you, gives you a ticket. You just walk to a separate line where there's a customs agent. And there's really no one. There's never anybody there. I shouldn't say that. The customs agent's there, but there's never anybody in line at Global Entry. Usually, it's like deserted. Not a lot of people use it. But anyway, like I'm saying, $100. That's what you want to do. So the Venture card is really powerful in that sense. Now. There was one other thing. What was the other thing? Oh, so if you don't go with Venture, go with the Chase Sapphire Preferred. It used to be a lot strong. It used to be a strong card, but now it's a lot weaker because of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So that trumps everything that the Chase Sapphire Preferred has. Chase Sapphire Reserve has that and more. So you can't get Chase Sapphire Preferred and Chase Sapphire Reserve. You can only get one. So you can only have one at a time. So a lot of people get that Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then the only thing they can do is upgrade to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but they're not going to get a sign-up bonus for that Chase Sapphire Reserve. They're only going to get it for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So that's why I don't really push that card too much anymore, but it's still a good card. You're in the Chase ecosystem, which is really good as far as transferring points. So I hope that helps. I think that was a long-winded question or answer to your question, but let's see. Let's go ahead and move on here. Let's see. Okay, so do you know of secured cards that allow you to continue deposits to increase your credit limit after you receive your card? Do you know anything about that, Duane, as far as secured credit cards that allow you to like increase your credit by like adding more money to it, I guess?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, the Discover It Secure card allows you to do that. Um, the some of them, I say some, but the majority of secure cards allow you to add more money to your card. But I do know that the Navy Federal Credit Union, when you add more money to your account, there's another hard inquiry. I have no idea how that makes any sense, but you definitely need to know that if you have a Navy Federal secured card, that when you add more money to your account, that will be another hard inquiry. So pretty much the majority of secured card allows you to add more money. You definitely want to find this out before you apply in case you're going to throw a couple $100 or a couple months to that card, which will, of course, increase your credit limit, which is always a good thing. But for the most part, you're able to do that. You're able to add money to a secured card. In regards to secured card, let me just say real quickly, you definitely want to only consider getting a secured card with a bank that allows you to be promoted to an unsecured card. Like a perfect example would be the Primor secured card, or it's like PRIMOR. Great secured card. It has a fixed APR. I wanted to do a video on this a long time ago, never did it. But the reason why I didn't do the video is because like you can't update, you can't be promoted to an unsecured version of that card. So it's not necessarily a good situation where you could have a secured card and eventually be promoted to an unsecured card and continue to build that credit history that you've worked so hard for. So if you're going to get a secured card, be sure that it's with a bank that allows you to graduate to an unsecured card. Otherwise, I would say just don't get that particular secured card. And that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay. Do you know, and Jimmy has a question here about secured credit cards to get for traveling. I don't have any idea about secured credit cards as far as I don't have any information, I should say, about secured credit cards. Do you know if there are any secured credit cards that offer you to get points while you're with the card, kind of like a travel credit card would?
I saw that question in the chat earlier, and off the top of my head, I don't know of secured cards where you can actually get points towards travel. I mean, I'm sure it exists. I personally don't know it. But there are secured credit cards like the Discover card that will allow you to earn 5% cash back if you call and ask to switch to that particular category. And then, of course, like I said, Discover matches all the cash back you earn in your first year. So in a way, that would be a roundabout way. I mean, cash back is not redeeming points towards travel. However, it's cash, so you could do whatever you'd like to do. It's real cash. It's not a statement credit. Like you can have them send you a check. And it's a pretty cool feeling to get a check from a credit card company. My first check when I got from Discover Card, I was able to get $1,700, $1,788.55 from that card because, of course, I was using it like crazy. And I was like, hey, I got a card. Let me buy whatever you need with the card. Or, like my sister wanted a TV from Walmart. And at the time, Walmart had 5% cash back. So with my secured card, I bought a couple of TVs for my sister on my card. She gave me the cash. And so you can really maximize that and then use the cash.
Okay. That last part just went out. I just saw this. And then you froze.
It's irrelevant. Hopefully they got it. I was basically
I'm sure they got it.
There you go. There you go.
I'm like, what do you say? What do you say?
Nice dinner. That's it. Nice dinner.
Yeah. All right. So anything else you want to add as far as like any tips, any things that you might have learned along the way as far as building your credit? Maybe some last some advice that you might have other than the stuff that we talked about today.
We talked about no real advice in regards to that. But if people are just caught the stream or have been here midway, what I will say when it comes to building your credit, first and foremost, be consistent, be patient. Like I feel like people should have a realistic point of view or vantage point when it comes to building your credit, right? There's not a lot of instant fix. I know we're in a microwave society, myself included. I want what I want, soon. I don't like the delayed gratification, but, be consistent and be patient. Just make sure your utilization is insanely low as you can. And then someone authorized you that has paid their bill on time and has a very low utilization, you definitely want to take advantage of that. And those things right there will increase your score sooner than later. And you'd be kind of surprised, to be honest with you, especially if you can jump on someone's card as an authorized user, how that would benefit you. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my 2 cents in regards to that. Start there, and then one day you'll be big time like David himself. You'll be going to Colombia and having, a good experience and, traveling on points. That's going to be my next stop.
Memorable experiences. That's what I'm all about.
Nice. I need to learn.
So can you tell some of the people who might not understand what utilization is? Like, what is the goal there? What are you trying to do with, you saying have a low utilization?
Yes,
what does that mean? And how do you try to accomplish that?
Great question, and didn't think to explain it. Great question. So an example of credit card utilization. Credit Karma is a decent app to have. I use Credit Karma as a tool. It's not insanely accurate, but it gives you at least a snapshot of what's going on. If you're cheap like me and you don't want to pay for your credit score, download Credit Karma. And one of the categories on there is credit card utilization. So if I have a credit card with $1,000 credit limit, the utilization just refers to how much percentage. If my 100, that is 10%. Okay. If my balance is $900, that's 90%. So the higher your credit card utilization, the lower, or should I say, the smaller of that, portion that you're going to go towards your score. Like your credit card utilization makes up 30% of the overall credit score. So if you're using 90% of your credit limit, okay, then you're going to basically be getting a smaller percentage. If it's 30% of your score and you're using 90% of your credit limit, then chances are you'll probably be getting, out of that 30% that makes up your credit utilization, you'll probably be getting, let's say, 8%, out of the 30% that makes it up. And so when your credit utilization is between 0% and 10%, that's when you'll be getting closer to the overall 30% that makes up that portion. So your credit utilization is 30% of your score. And a lot of people, there's a lot of misconception. I've heard, oh, as long as you use 30% of your credit, 30%. So that would mean if I had $1,000 limit, my 30% would be $300, right? So as long as your balance is around $300, you're good. The reality is, when you download apps like Credit Karma and you get updates every 7 days, you could see for yourself when you log on to the app, if your balance on your card is $10, what that's going to do to your utilization and how that's going to be reflected on your score. $800, which would be 80 score. So that utilization is, and I would just kind of advise people, download Credit Karma, download Wallet Hub, whatever app you're comfortable with, and just kind of pay attention to how the percentage of what you're using on your credit card affects your overall credit score. So that's what credit utilization is. Great question, and definitely people need to hear that.
Okay, let's. I thought I was able to open this up. Yeah, it looks like I can. Okay, where is it? Where is that screen? I had a little a little picture here I wanted to show.
Oh, okay. Graph.
Yeah, but I don't see where it is now. What's on my screen down here? You know what? Let's just move it up here. All right, I got like 3 screens working here, so
I know you're a pro. You're a pro. I already know.
Pro, nah. You know what? I can put it over here. Let me move it over here. All right, guys, if you have any other questions while I'm fumbling around with this thing, let me see. I don't know why it's not. I just lost it here. Okay, we can put it over here. Maybe move it to the front. Now's a good time, guys, to hit the like button if you can. If you have not done so already, please do so. So we can bring some more people in. And Duane has a channel, obviously. It's How to Build Credit TV. So please stop by his channel if you have not done so and subscribe to his channel.
Yes, sir.
He's got a lot of great content, out there. I started when I started watching you a while ago, man. It's funny because I just started doing live streams like 2 months ago. I haven't been, or maybe about two and a half months ago, and so I started really looking at different people and what they were doing just to kind of get an idea of what was going on. How long have you been doing live streams anyway?
Great question. I could tell you real quickly because I'm a nerd like that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely started live streams not that long ago. I kind of wanted to see myself, to be honest with you. So I'm just kind of looking into YouTube here through my videos and kind of see if I could pull it up. It was definitely a couple of months ago, and I knew the power of live stream. I wish I would have considered doing that earlier when I was trying to meet the YouTube requirement to monetize my channel.
Oh,
It helps a lot. Live stream helps get you a lot of minutes, and YouTube is all about keeping people on the platform, so that's very, very beneficial.
yeah.
Um,
So I'm showing the questions now. It's wrong. It was the
mhm.
wrong thing. I don't know how to pull it up. It was just a little graph.
Okay,
This
gotcha.
software I don't use all the time. So like my other software, I know how to pull up everything. And then I'm using a new computer today. So
Oh, bless
oh
you.
well, we'll just move we'll just move forward with it. But no, I just wanted people to understand as far as what credit utilization means and how it's very important that in late payments. those are
Right,
the, those are
right.
the things they really look at. So you want to make sure you focus on those things. Okay, so Mr. Alexander had a question about Amex Gold or Platinum. You have that Amex Gold and you love the card, right? Or
Yes, sir.
you enjoying it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, and the way we've kind of already gone over this, but when it comes, this is just my opinion. I don't have either of the cards. I am going to get into the American Express ecosystem sometime soon. I'm waiting a little bit. I think that they're going to be doing some promotions coming up with the platinum, and that's the card that I'm going to get first. But when it comes down to that platinum, you need to travel, and we said this already, but you need to travel. If you don't, then don't even waste your time getting that card. So I would go with the the Amex Gold. I think that's a great card. The fact that you get the 4 times points with restaurants and the 4 times points with grocery stores makes it really, really a powerful card to have because you can do a lot of earning, a lot of points earning when you're in the States. Even now with the restaurants, it's worldwide, so you're able to use it in other countries. I have heard of people who don't particularly like Amex because when you do travel to some other countries, you might not be able to use it as frequently as Visa and MasterCard. That's the only gripe that some people have. But that the Amex Gold is definitely a powerful card. Now, if in your mind you're thinking, I want to get that platinum, and you want to get that 100,000 sign up bonus that they kind of put out there every once in a while, you probably want to go with the platinum first because once you get that Amex Gold, then you're not going to be able to get that 100,000 sign up bonus with the platinum. So getting the platinum first for that sign up bonus, if that's what you really want, that's probably the way to go about it, and then getting the gold. But I'm telling you, those two as a tandem are great cards because you can earn a lot of points with the Amex Gold, and then you can enjoy some of the luxury that's the Amex Platinum has to offer when it comes to lounge access and elite status at some of the different hotels. Well, I shouldn't say elite stat. Well, status. We'll call it status. It's gold, so you have diamond. So Hilton has diamond, so you'd be gold. You'd be right in the middle there when it comes to status. So let's see. Other questions, guys? Anything else? The TC. He said price, and I'm afraid of that annual fee. No, what
Exactly.
about the Amex Platinum? I I want to wait only because the the whole thing with the incidentals, they're pulling back or not. They're not even pulling back because they weren't even really allowing people to, or they. It was a loophole. That's how people were getting away with getting the gift cards and stuff like that. I just think at this point something's gonna happen because of the priority pass. They pulled back on the restaurant credit, which I think is the best part of having a priority pass. For those of you who don't know, if you have Amex Platinum, City Prestige, Chase Sapphire Reserve, you get priority pass, and priority pass will allow you to go to some different lounges at airports, and they're pretty. I mean, they're over 1,000 lounges now that they have access to, or that you have access to. Now, they're not the best lounges in the world. Usually, they're kind of mid-level lounges. You don't really know what you're going to get all the time. Some of the lounges you go to, they're decent. Some of the lounges are just average. Everything is better than being in the regular terminal, and the fact that you get free, you can get free beverages, alcohol, and then snacks usually is good. I mean, it's all a plus, but they're not like elite lounges. Like if you're flying first class, business class, and you go in those lounges, they're totally different than what you would get in a priority pass lounge. Some of the lounges though are pretty decent. But what the reason that I like priority pass now is because of the restaurant credits. You can go to restaurants at some of the restaurants, if they're participating restaurants at the airport, and get a $28 credit for your meal and plus one. So if you have someone with you, then they get a $28 credit as well. So you can go in there and eat for free. So it's an amazing benefit. Now, Amex pulled back on it, so they're not allowing that anymore as of, I think, August 1st. So what I'm thinking is Amex is going to be doing something else. They're going to have their own credits or something. So they're working something out. And I think when they roll that out, they're going to roll it out with a promotion, like 100,000 sign up bonus or something. So that's why I'm waiting. There's no reason for me to jump on the card right now when I know something's coming up. And there's rumors right now that's what's in the works, but it just hasn't been confirmed yet. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Let's see. And like I said, make sure you go over to Duane's channel and go ahead and subscribe to his channel and watch his live streams. He's got live streams on Monday. I do a live stream on Monday too, but we don't have it at the same time. Like mine comes after. I'm the after hours. He's at like, for my time, it's like 5 o'clock. His is what, 7 o'clock Central, and mine is 5 o'clock. Wait, mine is. Wait, oh God, I get the times all mixed up. Mine is 7 o'clock. His is at 5 o'clock, but mine's at 7 o'clock.
For me,
Pacific Standard.
Pacific, yes, sir.
Yeah, just like we had a conversation earlier today, and I said, "Yeah, you ready? We'll do it at 6:15."
Right.
He was like, "You mean 4:15, right?" I'm like, "Oh man, let me get home."
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing I do get. Yeah, I messed that up earlier today, but it's all good. We got it done. So let's see. We got another question about secured credit cards. Let's see, Deanson. How about getting a secured card from Wells Fargo, then graduate to Platinum card? Can I product change to cash wise? Do you know anything about the Wells Fargo secured cards?
The Wells Fargo secured cards are pretty interesting. I've heard a lot of horror stories in regards to that particular card. And by horror stories, I just mean people have had the card for a while and never got promoted. Now, of course, I don't know what's going on with their credit report, so it's like if your score is insanely low, if you had bad payment history, yes, it's possible to have a secured card for a couple of years and not be promoted. However, if you're starting out brand new, you should not have that problem. And I think Wells Fargo's secured card right now, I know it used to be $25. I want to say there's no longer an annual fee. If you have a relationship with Wells Fargo, then getting a secured card with them is definitely a good look, because I think your chances of being approved for the secured card is of course really good, but then you'll from. That's kind of an opportunity, a deeper relationship with Wells Fargo.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so any other questions? We'll be on here for another few minutes. So if you guys have questions, please put in the chat right now. Duane, why don't you let us know a little bit more about, do you do anything other than YouTube channel? Do you have other things going on? Any coaching or anything like that you want to put out there?
No, not really, dude. You know, what's weird is that I miss the opportunity to connect with more people because I don't do Facebook, I don't really do Instagram, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just yet another thing for me to keep up with in regards to comments and answering questions. And dude, there's a lot going on in my life. So YouTube is my social media.
Okay.
I really don't do anything on Instagram. I don't have a Facebook, and I understand that I'm missing a huge chunk of people that I could, connect with. I don't. But this is pretty much it. You know what I mean? Like, as far as credit is concerned, the channel provides all the opportunities to kind of get any questions answered. You can stop by the live stream and ask your questions there. Sometimes I miss them, but we have really good moderators and people in the community that will answer your questions in the live stream, even if I don't, which is really sad. So, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Alexander is asking, is the Chase Sapphire Preferred worth it? It's worth it if you're starting out, yes. And if you are afraid of paying a $450 annual fee, then obviously go with the Chase Sapphire Preferred over the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I think that when people get that Chase Sapphire Preferred, once they get used to it, they might have it for a year, 2 years, and they're going to realize, you know what, I need to step up to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So my advice to people is, if you really want to get in that Chase ecosystem, start with the Freedom card, Chase Freedom Unlimited. And then from that point, then jump to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So get comfortable with the Chase Freedom cards. You're not going to be earning any points toward travel. You're earning cashback points, but just don't use the cashback. You just earn the points. And then when you're ready, jump up to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And when you jump to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, all those points that you have with the Freedom card, you can transfer them up to the Chase Sapphire Reserve and then use it for travel that way. So you're just kind of banking all these points, holding them in the Freedom and the Freedom Unlimited cards. And then once you get one of the top tier cards there, then you can transfer them up. So that's my advice when it comes to that. Let's see. All right. We got a couple of questions about insurance. Let's see. Okay, we got a question here. If you apply for 2 credit cards simultaneously, will it be considered as one inquiry or 2? Thank you. James, when it comes down to it, I think they still only do one hard pull if you do them like simultaneously. That was like the old practice. I don't do that, and I don't have any need to get 2 credit cards at the same time. That's just not my strategy. Usually I'll get 1 credit card. I'll use I'll get 1 credit card, hit the minimum spend, and then I'll get another credit card, hit the minimum spend. So I'm usually not jumping on 2 cards at one time, but I have heard that if you do, a lot of times they'll just do one hard pull. And if you're with Amex, once you establish a relationship with them, sometimes they don't even do a hard pull. They'll do a soft pull because you already have credit cards with them. So, do you know anything about that, Duane? Or
Yes, sir. Dude, you hit the nail on the head. I didn't even think about American Express. With American Express, like you said, there is no hard inquiry, because once you already have an account with them, you're good. The only thing to worry about with Amex is the fact that you can't get approved for more than 90-day charge card. You can get 2 cards within a 90-day period, but it will not be another hard inquiry. Now, if it were 2 different banks or 2 different cards that you're applying for at the same time, even though you can't apply for it at the same time, technically, you could have 2 tabs open and hit submit and hit submit. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be simultaneous, but that'll be close. It's still going to be two inquiries. The thing is that it'll, be in that moment versus like, 1 week and then the next week, or 1 month and the next month. So me personally, I applied for two cards on one day. I did the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card back in August 2018, and I did the Discover It card on the exact same day. And then I think I waited like a day or two, and then I applied for a Citibank Double Cash. And then I did a lot of credit card applications in a very short time, which is not what I'm recommending. But they're all going to be hard inquiries unless it's with American Express, and maybe other cards are like that as well, where you don't get a hard inquiry. But just call and ask. Just call and ask them, so that way you're not guessing.
Yeah, that's good advice there, definitely. Let's see. Mr. Alexander, you're not serious, right? This question can't be serious. Should I carry a balance? Never. Never. You can avoid it. Never carry a balance.
Right.
Especially if you're getting these travel credit cards, you never want to carry a balance, because that's how they get you. The interest rates on these cards, 18%, 20%. So you want to make sure you never carry a balance, and just use it like you would use your debit card. That's the way that I do it. So my practice is, whenever I always have I have the money in the bank. So I'm using the credit card only because I'm trying to earn points, and I'm not doing I'm only spending like my normal spend. I'm not doing anything. It actually helps me, because I'm a little more fearful now, where I'm always thinking about, okay, I have the money in the bank, right, when I'm using the card. So I don't make big purchases without knowing that I have the money in the bank. So I don't do the impulse stuff. I'm not in the store thinking, oh yeah, you know what, I can just get this and I can pay it in a month or what have you. So I'm a lot more careful when it comes down to it. So you want to make sure you pay it off every month. My practice is every 2 weeks, I'm looking at all my statements. I'm paying it off. And so every time I get paid, that's what I'm doing. I'm paying it off to make sure that I'm never carrying a balance. Because if you're earning points, you're giving those points away if you're paying interest. So there's no reason to earn the points. Basically you're just throwing your points away. So you don't want to do that. So never carry a balance. Do you have any input on that, Duane?
More to say about I'm worse than you. I actually pay my cards off like maybe once a week, so good advice. Never carry a balance unless you want the credit card companies to make money, or unless you're insanely bored and trying to see if you'll somehow get a credit limit increase faster by keeping a balance. But there's no way to really know if that's what worked in regards to you getting a credit limit increase. So I agree, pay it off. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And let's see, Justin has a comment to make here. He said it can be fine to carry a balance on 0 APR business cards, especially if you can leverage the APR to fund bank accounts So, and business cards are a little different, because they're not, your utilization won't be affected if you're, with the business cards, if you carry a balance.
Right.
But just, you're not going to get a zero. First off, you're not going to get a 0 APR unless it's like balance transfers and stuff like that. But you're not going to get a zero balance or 0 APR when it comes to travel credit cards. It's just not going to happen. They're in it to make money. They're offering you a lot of benefits up front, so they're not going to give that to you. It's funny. I just got an email today, and I did a video on this last week, just talking about how Chase's. What did I title it? Something about Chase's bad promotion. So they're sending out these promotions now where they're saying, like my interest rate on one card is on the Chase Sapphire Reserve is 18.24% or something like that. So very, very high. And so they sent me an offer today where, if you sign up for this promotion, then we'll lower your interest rate down to 10.99% or something like that, to entice me to think, okay, well, you know what? They lowered my interest rate, so I don't have to pay it all off. I can just pay minimum balance and then, pay that 10% or whatever, or 11%, which what it really is. So they're enticing me to not pay it off. And that's why I call it a bad promotion, because it's like one of those things. I already know I'm not going down that road. There's no reason for me to sign up, but I think I'm assuming that people are doing it because they're sending it out. It wasn't just me. There were some other people. We have a WhatsApp group going. There's some other people that got it too, and they sent it to me. They actually sent it to me last week, and that's why I did the video on it. But I got mine today. So yeah, you wanna really try to avoid that. I understand if you have a business and you're trying to leverage your money and all that, then that can make sense. But if for a personal credit, yeah, you don't want to do that. Even if it's zero APR, you're still going to have that reported to the credit bureau, and it will affect your utilization. So just be careful with that. All right. Anything you want to add with that, Duane, as far as Justin was asking?
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I want to make sure I'm pretty sure that everybody knows, of course, you could have no APR with an introductory offer. So I think, David was not necessarily addressing that, which it doesn't need to be addressed. If you have a no AP, no percent intro, that's exactly what that is. It's an intro. And definitely maximize it. You know what I mean? If you have cards that you can do a balance transfer because you have a lot of money on this particular card, and you can get approved for a card and transfer that balance, pay the 3%, which will still be a lot cheaper than paying your 16 to 25% on the current credit card, then that would make sense to transfer it to a card that has no APR for the first 12 months or 15 months, or even Citibank has one with like 18 months. But other than an introductory period, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense afterwards if you have to pay an APR, So that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay. Let's see. As far as incidentals, can Amex airline incidental fees credit be used towards seat upgrades? I don't know. I don't have any Amex cards. I would think probably not. I don't know. That's a good question. If someone knows in the chat, please chime in because I don't know. I don't. I would think probably not though, because that's almost like purchasing a ticket, airline ticket, and they don't allow you to do that. So I think incidentals is just, it's going to be for bags and maybe for entertainment on the plane and food on the plane.
Right.
That's probably as far as you can go with that. So, all right, let's move on. But if anyone knows, like if anybody does know like a definitive answer, you've used it before or what have you, please put it in the chat so you can help out Gray Sign here. Okay, TEC, do you think United will eventually give in to creating a better rewards card to compete or complement the Chase FI Reserve? It's been a long day. Who knows? You know what? I have the United card right now, and I do like the card. I don't use the card I don't use the card at all. Only time I use it's when I travel. I like the card in the sense that and I say this all the time, but you get the priority boarding and you get the free check bags. That's why I like the card. Plus, when I signed up for it, it's a business card, so I signed up for it and I got the 75,000 sign up bonus, which is a lot higher than I think it's at 40,000 now for the personal one. So I like it for those aspects, but I don't really get any good earn with the card, so I don't use it for anything unless I'm booking airfare, and I'm usually using points to book the airfare, and then I'm using that card to pay for the taxes and fees. That way, I qualify to get because you have to use. That's the one thing with United. You have to use the card in order to get the free check bag and the priority boarding. So I can't use another card. If I use another card, then they're not going to give me the check bag and priority boarding. Whereas like the Advantage card, the American Airlines card, you don't have to use the card. It's attached. It's attached to your account, your Advantage account. So once you book airfare, they're going to know that you have the card, and they're going to give you the check bag and the priority boarding. So American Airlines is a little better when it comes to that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would hope that. I mean, these airline credit cards, they're bad. All of them are bad. I mean, you don't have very many cards that are good to use. When I say bad, I don't mean they're bad in the sense that you can't. They're not an everyday card. You're not going to use them every day to earn points. You're just not, because you don't have the good earn possibility. Even when you're booking with the airline, it's like 2 points for every dollar spent. There are a dozen cards out there that give you better than 2 points for every dollar spent, or give you 2 points for every dollar spent on travel. So why use that card? The only reason that you're using it is because you want to get the free check bag and the priority boarding. That's the only reason you use it. And most people who use points, they're going to use their points, and they're only going to be, that card is, you're charging, or not charging, but when you use that card, it's only going to be maybe $100 at most, because you're only paying taxes and fees. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that card. They're basically, what's going on right now is they're United is upset with Chase. I mean, Chase is United and Chase have a partnership as far as their credit card, but they're upset with Chase because Chase has a Chase Sapphire Reserve, which pretty much trumps everything that United has right now as far as their earn possibility and all the stuff that they have on their card. So they would have to make some changes. The thing that they can do is just give us a lot of points. Give us 5 times points with United when we're booking on United, and that's going to solve the problem, because people will use that card for that purpose. But if they can't up it, it's not going to change anything, I don't think. Let's see. Questions for Duane. Let's see. What is this? Duane, the travel force, what are the chances you get an Amex card and Discover card in your authorization after 6 months? What are the chances you get it? I don't know what you're asking here. The Amex card and Discover card, if you authorization after 6 months. Do you know what he's asking? I don't.
I think he may be asking if you're an authorized user for 6 months.
Getting it after. I see.
Yeah, and I think well, 6 months would be definitely a decent time frame in which to wait, because it would kind of show some consistency there as far as your credit score is concerned. So if that's what he's asking, no matter what, the good news is with those 2 cards, you can see if you're pre-qualified. I would always suggest filling that out first. It's not a hard inquiry, and you can see if you're pre-qualified before applying. So do that first before applying for either one of those cards. And I would use that as a pretty good indicator. If you're not pre-qualified, then, it's going to make you think, well, do I have a lot of inquiries? Should I wait for some inquiries to fall off? Because if you're pre-qualified, and you have like 6 inquiries, you could still kind of find yourself in a pickle. But if you're not pre-qualified at all, you know that you're not going to apply for the card because you probably won't get it. You know what I mean? So if that's what you're referring, then I think 6 months is a good amount of time in which to wait, but definitely fill out the pre-qualification to see if you're qualified first before applying, because that's why the tool is there.
Okay, good. And I think we went over this a little bit, but I'll give you another opportunity to plug your channel. So Dolly's asking what's next for your channel, Duane. Like where do you want to go with it?
Right. Dude, that's so funny because you asked that question earlier, and I wish I could say a lot of exciting things in regards to the channel. Like I said, I'm just going to be consistent. I'm going to try to be the voice in regards to how to build your credit, whether you're starting from scratch, whether you're trying to rebuild your credit. That's kind of the purpose of the channel, and that's kind of my lane. I would love to do more talking about travel and points and redeeming, but I think it's a little more effective if I were actually traveling and doing all kinds of redeeming. So maybe David will, kind of spill over some of his spillover will get onto me in regards to redeeming my points and actually using my points for a better and greater use instead of flying domestic. So, maybe in the future that could be something that I could get into. I'm not opposed to it. The thing is, am I really going to travel? Like I have a problem spending money because I just have issues like that. But I need to work on getting
Talk
those.
about that. I want to know what you do. You have a problem spending money. And wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Now I got a super chat from you. I didn't even realize it
Yes,
because
sir.
the thing that I'm using here, the Streamlabs, this software.
Right.
I don't see like like in the regular chat, you see the discount. You see the different colors, so your eyes automatically go to it. It doesn't happen
Right.
on here. It just shows me. It's just all text.
Right.
So thank you for the super chat. This is the
Yes,
first
sir.
time I've ever got a super chat from the guests.
There you go. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Wow, Duane, man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I mean, I
And I'm
really,
sorry I didn't catch it earlier, man.
I agree.
I'm looking, I'm thinking, because I looked, you can see the overall. I'm thinking, there's an extra $5 on there. Where's that coming from? So I had to scroll back up, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Right. No, man, I totally like your channel is really dope. It's actually amazing, like seeing other people on YouTube and kind of looking at them and trying to kind of decide like what it is you want to do, what you can incorporate, you know what I mean? Because it's all kind of about stealing something and making it your own, putting your own spin on it. I say stealing, but to some extent, we all kind of copy or emulate
Oh yeah,
somebody's style
yeah.
or something that people do. If you're a human being and you've lived any kind of life, you somewhat have a model, of what you
Mhm.
want to be and what you aspire to be. So,
And then you develop your style from there. Like
yes,
you
sir.
gotta. I mean, we all have our own style, but you kind of develop that after you figure out how everything works.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So let's
I
see.
really respect you and to make sure
Just
I've said that. Mhm.
what's that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking at here. Justin's got a lot of comments here. Um, Pretty much answering a lot of questions here, so that's good. Some pretty good knowledge coming from Justin. Um, let's see. Do we have any other questions specifically? And so you pretty much addressed the thing. You don't really know where you're going with your channel, but you're just kind of just going to be consistent, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. And there are a lot of people in this space that I'm finding now. Like before, I didn't really. When I say in this space, I'm talking credit cards and travel credit cards and stuff like that. How to build your credit, all that stuff. I didn't realize there were so many people out there
Right.
that do have channels. I think a lot of us are more on the smaller level, as far as following. Then you have your pretty much the two big guys out there, and then a lot of us are kind of at the same level when it comes to subscriber count and stuff. So yeah, but I definitely think now the information is easily available for improving your credit. And I think that's great, because even when I got into start getting these credit cards, I didn't know anything about like how to improve my credit. I was just applying for credit cards, and I was, my credit was okay, so I was able to get these cards. But now I'm looking back into, okay, yeah, you know what? This information is very valuable, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show, Duane, because you do it the best. Right now, I'm
Appreciate
looking at
that.
all these other channels. You do it the best. You have a live, you do live streams. A lot of people don't do live streams. I'm noticing, and I think live streams are a good way for you to connect with your audience and go back and forth, and it's instant. Like you can really help people out. So it's a little nerve wracking, but I think it's definitely worth it. And as long as you're consistent, like you're on every Monday, you build that audience up, and yeah, people will really appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Justin here. Let's see what we got here. More Hyatt love here. Thanks to Chase Points. I booked 12,000 Hyatt points, stayed at Ocean Casino in Atlantic City. Even worked on July 4th. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And 12,000 points, that's not that much when you look at it. I mean, you might think, wow, 12,000 points, that's a lot. But for hotel stay, that's about average. I just stayed in Anaheim. I just stayed in Anaheim at the convention center. I was using 12,000 points each day, and it was a Hyatt place. And so, yeah, that's that's not a bad deal there. Definitely not a bad deal. Okay. All right. So looks like everybody's done with the questions here, and we're gonna go ahead and go for today. And I really appreciate Duane. I really appreciate you stopping by, man. And I definitely want to have you on again in the future. I think you have a lot of knowledge that you can bring to the channel. So, I really appreciate you stopping by. Do you want to plug anything else before you leave? As far as we all know where to find you, How to Build Credit TV, jump on his channel, subscribe, and I will put in the description box. I'll put a link to his channel so you guys can check that out as well. All right.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Duane? Anything else?
No, man. Thanks for having me. And like I said, much respect to you and what it is you do on your channel. And I respect everything that you've done, man. And like I said, some notes have been taken. I was writing some stuff down as we did the live stream today. So I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I will be in touch. Thank you very much. And I really need to have you on my channel as well once I get my life together.
Definitely.
And have this presentation like you do as far as the StreamYard that you're using for this. So we'll communicate after the stream. Thank you. And thank you for putting me in front of your audience. I appreciate you.
Okay. All right, guys. Take care. I will be back on Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then I'll be putting out videos. So I'll have a video out tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and then Saturday we'll go live. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.